Hello there, and welcome back to World of Warships Legends on the Series X. I am Derka, and today we are featuring the cruiser that thinks it's a battleship, the Eastern Bloc bad boy, Stalingrad. Stalingrad is the first legendary tier cruiser that is available simply for green XP, no missions in the Bureau. She is large and in charge and has a bone to pick with that dirty capitalist ship named the Alaska. What else does she have to offer us for 2 million green XP? Let's find out. So this is the first ship at the legendary tier that you can buy outright for global XP, without having to research her in the Bureau. That's nice. I will say grinding the Bureau and not buying it out can take months to get some of these ships, and it can be a little irritating, especially if you do not have a lot of leveled commanders or some of the higher tiered ships. More on that later, but let's look at our commander setup. So, I see no point in trying to have any mobility in this thing. It handles like an IS-2 on the Autobahn, so just put Niki Kuznetsov on there and spec it for accuracy or DPM or a little bit of both. Inspirations that I used would be Azerlane's Scharnhorst to clean up that dispersion and Norman Scott to bring the grouping in a little bit. Yeah, focusing on long range accuracy with these AP shells seems to be probably the best thing you could do. Honorable mentions for inspirations could be Yamamoto as well as Lutjens, both of them kind of improving your AP shell damage and penetration. Membelli might be a good choice as well to bring your reload times down a little bit. So, like we mentioned, being able to use global XP to buy this thing out is cool, depending on how much you play. That's the big caveat here. So, for example, let's talk about me and my stats for a bit. For reference, I have around 3,500, 3,600 battles. Xbox has that recorded as playing for 71 days, 8 hours, and 5 minutes as of the recording of this voiceover. 71 days, that's over 1,700 hours of gameplay. If you are interested in these stats as well, you can go to the Xbox app either on your computer or your phone, go to your profile, look at your games, and Xbox will have this terrifying and depressing number listed on every game that you've ever played on Xbox. So yeah, go have fun with that. Go have fun with that. So, 1,700 hours over the course of these 2 years and a few months that the game has been out. In that time, I have almost exclusively saved global or green XP for GXP ships. Usually I don't rush ships. There might have been a couple of them I did, maybe trying to get review videos out, but usually I don't. Maybe I skipped like, I don't know, maybe the Hatsuharu was really not fun for me, so maybe I burned 100,000 global XP for that. I'm not sure. So the ships that I have purchased with green XP over these 2.5 years would be Alabama, Prince Eugen, and Otago. All of them cost 750,000 green XP. And I also got the Atlanta for 500,000. This totals 2.7 million global XP. And so in the entire 71 days of playing this game, that's all I've earned. And those are the only ships I have got to buy. I think 2 million global XP is a lot for someone like me who's a casual player, and I will probably actually never really get my hands on this ship. Luckily for this video, Ouija was nice enough to lend it to me in the first week of being a CC. Those that play the game a lot, those that whale for green XP boosters, these are people that it could benefit by having green XP to buy ships rather than the Bureau, because they're playing a lot, they're buying boosters that are going to help them accumulate green XP more. So that is something to consider. Okay, enough about green XP. Let's get to the ship and talk about the bread and butter of this thing. The ship is all about shooting long-range, armor-piercing rounds. As you can see, there are no high explosive shells to speak of, so plan accordingly, and you can have a hell of a time. Things to note, this ship is rather tanky when you're angled correctly or playing bow in, but if you give up too much broadside, maybe past 30 degrees and you don't get auto bounces, you can be punished pretty badly, and we'll showcase a little bit of that action here later. The gun range on this thing is sweet, and with the sizes of the maps, you really don't have to move a lot, which is why I think working on mobility, it's not that important on this ship. I think I have a nearly 20-kilometer range on this setup, so with that in mind, I don't see a big point in trying to be too mobile. And to be honest, it's too far gone. Turning circle is 1130 meters, rudder shift is 12.5 seconds, so getting cute and trying to brawl can get you in a lot of trouble. Along with that, turret traverse also becomes an issue when you're getting too close to your enemies. So anyways, how did I play her? Well, at the start of matches, I took a play out of James Maynard Keenan's book and chose to sit back and watch things die from a good safe distance. With the accuracy and the range of these guns, you can outperform most other ships in the game with your superior range, dealing damage and daring them to show their broadside. Being cautious at the beginning is important. You're very susceptible to HE spam and to aircraft carriers. They're very dangerous because you're too slow and large really to dodge aircraft, and you can get set on fire quite a lot in this big cruiser. The games where I was overzealous, looking at my thick armor scheme and 65,000 health points often led to losing a lot of health unnecessarily by getting too close to red team. Just keep them outranged and keep firing volley after volley. Just like in this game, at the beginning we played kind of cautious, shooting broadsides and downing enemy aircraft, staying close to my teammates for a little extra support with that. And the whole time we had an easy escape route around the island if we needed to reverse out, and we just kind of waited for the right opportunity. That opportunity came after Scharnhorst Sinop died, so we kind of thinned out the herd and then knew it was time to move up, be a little more aggressive with the radar. Yes, you are a radar cruiser, albeit you're not the most effective destroyer hunter. You have a pretty long reload and no HE shells, so you're just shooting overpins basically with the AP shells. But still, being a radar cruiser, like in this game, we knew we had to move up to weed out that Kagero, although our aircraft carrier was doing a really awesome job of chasing that guy down, keeping him spotted. So, on this subject, worth noting here, the Grad does not have sonar, and that's kind of a big detriment to it, to be honest, and among other reasons, I think that's why Alaska is still the superior super cruiser. Yeah, that's a topic for another video though. Let's not open up a can of worms right now. Anyways, once you have won your flank, it's time to start moving forward and grinding red team under your little communist boots. Again, the power in this ship lies with a good flanking maneuver to catch the reds buffing their Deweys. And that's exactly what we ran into here. A Yami and a Kansas, maybe buffing each other's Deweys, I don't know, it's 2021. But I do feel bad for these guys. Earlier in the game, you might have noticed that their Shimakaze sailed straight past B-cap, straight past C-cap, and was sailing around somewhere in our spawn on a pleasure cruise, maybe a fishing trip, but he didn't help them spot or cap, so I would say their team was doomed on that spawn from the beginning. Now, normally I would say shoot at the Parseval. I know there was an opportunity I had to shoot at the aircraft carrier, and I chose one of these ships, and there's a couple reasons I did that. One, I absolutely see the Yamato as an existential threat to me in this cruiser, because Yamato can pin everything basically from any angle. Also, I knew that I had taken a lot of the Parseval's planes, so he wasn't going to be as big of a threat. Plus, any opportunity to smack a Yamato, I absolutely take. I just can't stand the simplicity and overpowered nature of that ship. It aggravates me, and I like to see them hurt. But at this point in the game, really, there's nothing they can do. We have all the caps, we have all the ships, and we made it up to about 168,000 damage. Overall, the Stalingrad is extremely fun to play. I only wish that I could earn enough global XP to buy it and to enjoy it. But I'm just going to have to relish this 1 week I had with the ship, and maybe I will get it by 2025. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy. Comment down below with your thoughts on this subject, Green XP versus Bureau. I'd be curious to hear it. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.